Hey everybody! So, I bet you are wondering what that cryptic title means. Let's find out in this week's Reading Roundup. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Nikhil with Shelf-Esteem, composer, now also a booktuber. You can find my music in book adaptations such as The Wheel of Time, His Dark Materials, the official companion album for Brent Week's Lightbringer, the Adan trilogy, main theme, and many others. I want to talk to you a little bit about this week's Reading Roundup, and as you can tell from the title, it's going to be a doozy. So buckle up, sit back, relax, enjoy the show. If you like this kind of video, please like and subscribe. Help by watching till the end, share it with a friend, and let's jump on into the books. Before I get to what this title is all about, let's first jump to a couple of other reads, and then we'll kind of go to the main event of the week. But the first one I want to talk about actually was really cool because, I mentioned to you in a previous weekly update, I've been doing a mini buddy read with a good friend of mine, Greg, who is a fellow composer. And, I just started talking about, hey, I like reading sci-fi. And he's like, I'm a huge sci-fi reader. Let's read a book together. And it was the perfect time because I had kind of fallen off of this book and I was looking forward to restarting and trying again because I was enjoying it. I just got busy with other things. So I ended up re-picking up and getting about 250 pages in E.N.M. Banks' The Algebraist. My first E.N.M. Banks read, thanks to Sam Not So Wise, fantastic channel I'm linking below. He is way more well-versed in sci-fi than I am, so he recommended this, and I figured I'd try it. It's a behemoth, but man, the billions of years of timescale make it so interesting of a read that even though it is a little mind-melting at times, it's really the characterization and kind of almost these vignettes of stories and flashbacks kind of coming together. It's really fantastic. So we got a chance to meet at a coffee shop and discuss that first about 250 pages or so, first three chapters or three parts of the novel. And it's been really a blast so far. I feel like compared to other sci-fi, I often have to pause while I'm reading this and try to visualize what they're talking about. Like I forget even how it's pronounced, but it's like an Oreolith or something. It's a specific species of alien they try to describe, and it's like this thing is in a suit, but it's really all liquid. So it fit, they fit it in a suit, so it takes the shape of a human being maybe, but it's actually almost like in liquid form. So just stuff that's harder to visualize, I think. So I have to take a pause when I'm reading this. But man, there is a cataclysmic event that just happened as I stopped reading. So I'm very much looking forward to getting back to this. But, it's a good problem to have that you're reading great books as I have been this week. So I want to kind of continue on and talk a little bit about some of the others. The other one I've been doing as another buddy read with David from Four Corners of the Page. If you haven't checked out his channel, he's a fantastic guy, fantastic booktuber, and he also talks a lot about like in-depth and characterization and theme and stuff. And we were picking up Ken Follett's Pillars of the Earth. This was really interesting to read, especially after reading the Heaven Tree trilogy by Edith Pargeter, because that is very much a similar premise, but it takes it in a completely different direction. That series is really about redemption, forgiveness. It's about coming into one's own. It is about the artistic process behind building a cathedral in the year 1200. This is the more engineering and the form versus function debate. This is more of the function aspect of things. And the cathedral really represents almost like this creative nexus for the characters. And there's another character, which I don't want to spoil anything, but he is really kind of exemplifies the destructive aspects of human nature. And they're really at polar opposites of each other. And if there was one gripe I had about this book, and it's not really changing it from a 5-star read, which it is so far, is like, I feel like some of the characterization of the villains are really excessive, like in terms of violence. Now, given the villain is a sociopath, so I guess it kind of makes sense. And there's a lot of deep-seated insecurities and angst there that drives his actions. He can't he can't stand the fact that like other people have what he doesn't have. And if he can't have it, nobody should have it. That goes with people, that goes with positions of power, that goes with even physical manifestations like this cathedral is. So it is, it's really great. I'm loving it, but I feel like I could have used maybe a little bit more nuance in terms of the villains. You know, the villains are really taking it up a notch. So yeah, that's my only gripe, but very small gripe if anything. I mean, this is absolutely riveting. I'm about, let's see, 660 pages of a 937 page behemoth. So still got a ways to go, about 66% there. But I'm having a blast with this. I can see why people would call this a book of the month. I don't know if this is going to make it as book of the month because of the next one I want to talk about. Because this book I have read about 40% of, and I am freaking absolutely in love with this. And it's kind of one of the most anticipated reads of my whole year. Actually, in some ways, in the last couple of years, and I'll explain that why. So I finally got Christopher Ruocchio's final book in his Suneater series, Book 7, Shadows Upon Time. Another behemoth. This thing is, let's see, it's like 950 pages or something. Don't want to read, or maybe 900 pages? Yeah, about 900 pages. So I am around page 365, if I remember correct. Yeah, 365. So I still have quite a ways to go, but this is a masterstroke so far. I mean, the politicking, which I was very surprised to see as much as there is in this, compared to the fact that, you know, it's like the final book. You would expect that it would be more battle and less of the politics. But actually, the politics are going to make that grand finale especially poignant. And man, Christopher Ruocchio, I thought he put the characters through the ringer in the previous entries, but he really swings for the fences on this one. The stuff that Hadrian Marlowe and the crew go through. I mean, there's people who, you know, either exit off the page or you think they've exited off the page sooner than you kind of expected. So he really does not pull any punches in this. But the reason why I was especially excited about this, and let me kind of paint the picture for you, is a couple years ago, Christopher Ruocchio was releasing the Diamond edition, a special edition of his first book, Empire of Silence, in the series. Now, I only had it in like the mass market paperback, so I really wanted a hardcover, and I thought this is the perfect time to get a hardcover version. Now, thankfully, because I'm so happy to see that Christopher Ruocchio is so popular now, that his Kickstarter sold out so fast, right? Like he sold all his Diamond editions very fast. And so, I was refreshing the page as it was like counting down. He was on the live stream counting down 10, 9, 8. And because I was refreshing it so rapidly, I was one of the first people on the site. And so I was able to not only snag an edition, but I was able to be one of 4 people who got the add-on to end all add-ons. And that is to be written as a character. I swear to God, written as a character in the final book of the Suneater series. Now, I don't want to spoil anything, but I'm going to turn to page 215 here and read like just a little bit of that. And that's spoiler-free, completely spoiler-free. I mean, even if you don't know the series. All right, this is just so insane. And he put my full name in there too. And apparently, this is not it. Like, there's way more in the, kind of back half of the book. So I'm looking forward to seeing how I die, because I'm supposed to be killed off unceremoniously at some point. So let's see what happens. But it says, I knew their names, some of their names. Kern was from the outer Perseus, clear across the empire. Nikhilkoperker was centurion, a survivor of the sack of Nessus, and captain of the huntsmen. Captain, not bad. Then it goes on to say, Strategoscoperker, a Palatine lord of high bearing, not so unlike Lord Duro himself, shifted from foot to foot. The Cielsen have made no move in decades. I'm going to leave it right there, and there's some politicking that goes on that apparently I'm a part of, so I'm very much looking forward to how I meet my untimely end. But, I mean, I'm so grateful to Christopher for doing this whole add-on thing, and he was just such a wonderful person to chat with, like through the Kickstarter messaging. We were messaging back and forth and stuff, and this is like my favorite sci-fi series of all time. So the fact that I can be a character on the page in like the final book, it's kind of insane. So if you haven't read it yet, and you want a funny Easter egg to see, then you can see me in the newest Suneater book. And it's crazy. It's crazy to think about that this even happened. So yeah, if you have read it, see if you could spot me at 215, and I think at some of the other pages later on in the big battle and stuff. So let's see what happens. So that was a huge highlight of like the whole year, I would say. So this is going to be kind of a big priority for me this week. Let's talk a little bit about what I'm going to read. I want to finish this by December, so I will be reading this most of Thanksgiving week, which is really nice. I'm going to also try to finish Pillars of the Earth. I only have like 300 pages left to go, so it's not terrible. I think it's possible with the time off I'm going to have that I could actually finish both these books, because I only started Shadows Upon Time on Thursday. I'm filming on Monday for release on Tuesday, and I took Friday off from reading, so I really only read that amount over 3 days. So I feel pretty confident that I could probably read both of these and finish them by the end of the week. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about for this week. So let's talk a little bit about this week on the channel. So we are at 1,483 subscribers, so very close to that golden 1,500. So I really appreciate all the people who've joined on the Discord and as subscribers to the channel. And we're at 98 subscribers on the Discord now. Active conversations. I've been peeking in a little bit more often. I'm trying to make that more of a priority, so I could chat with you all, because that's one of my favorite things to do, and it's only work that keeps me apart from that. So been having enjoyable discussions there. I released 3 videos. I've been on a 3 video a week streak, which has been really great. I did my reading roundup on Tuesday. On Thursday, I did a 2026 standalones that I want to read as kind of a final video in the trilogy of 2026 reads. I had a 2026 series I want to finish, a series I want to finish in 2026, then series I want to start in 2026, and then standalones I want to read in 2026. So that was the 3rd video. You could check that out up here if you'd like. And then the final video I did on Saturday was a little bit different, and I think maybe some people missed it because it didn't have as much viewership, or maybe it's not of as interest for people on this channel. But basically, I did some research and I found out, a lot of songs I grew up listening to, and a lot of, kind of classic songs that you hear about from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, they were influenced by sci-fi fantasy novels. So I picked some of my favorites in, ranging from pop to psychedelic to heavy metal, and kind of read little passages of them and kind of compared what they are like to their source material, and kind of linking the two is always very interesting to me, because I think, I'm a musician. I'm an avid reader. There are other musicians out there who are avid readers who just happen to make songs that are indelible parts of our kind of pop culture. So it's great. Yeah. So you could check that out if you haven't already. And, people have been giving me great recommendations of things to listen to that I didn't know about that were influenced by other sci-fi fantasy reads. So only one way to find out is to listen and then read the novels, right? That's what we do here. Let's talk a little bit about the channel schedule this week. So it is Thanksgiving holiday in the States. So for all of you who will be celebrating, happy Thanksgiving. I hope you have a wonderful time with your families. I know we're going to be doing a staycation here. I think Linda's going to cook up a storm. So I will be going to the gym more frequently over the next couple of days to prep for that. But I will be releasing 3 videos this week. Now, the way I kind of want to structure it is reading roundup on Tuesday, as always. On Thanksgiving morning, I want to do my December TBR. Now, it's going to be slightly different to my regular December TBR, because you're going to look at that list and you're going to go, Nikhil, that is so long. Have you lost your mind? So the trick with that is I'm going to include basically everything I want to get done by the end of the year. So by December 31st, that includes the books I'm currently reading in November. So just kind of a catch-all to go like, this is my December TBR, but it includes that last week of November as well. That will be released on Thursday. That's kind of my final TBR video for the year. So definitely keep an eye on that. On Saturday, I want to do a book haul video because I've gotten a few more books, and I will be doing a book buying ban for myself in the first part of 2026. More than that in actually a separate video. But, in the meantime, I've been buying some books, and I'm waiting actually for a box of a few to arrive from Book Outlet, which, by the way, if you have not checked out Book Outlet, they have a crazy sale on hardcovers right now, some of them of which are $5.99. I found an Ian Esselmont book and a couple of others there. So you can check that out if you'd like to. I'll leave the link in the description there for you. But so I'm waiting for that. If that does not arrive by Saturday, I will either think of another video or maybe depending on what you all feel, let me know in the comments. I kind of want to jump on a live stream, just chat with you all for an hour on Saturday morning if you are up for that. So let me know in the comments if that's something you'd want. I just love chatting with you all, so it'd be fun, I think, to chat more books. And maybe you all are getting more for Black Friday sales and things, so we could chat about those as well. But let's talk a little bit about that last segment, which is the music front. So it was a really great week, actually. I got to work on a second theme for that game prototype that is unannounced. I finished the main theme song for Linda's game. So that kind of concludes my part of this prototype, and they're going to start pitching it to investors in December and then early 2026. So fingers crossed, send all your positive vibes, knock on wood and all that. I went on Wednesday to the Hollywood Music and Media Awards. Now, this is an award show that's held in Hollywood every year. I'd been once years ago. For this one, I was nominated for the song The Hills of Tenshiko, which was a featured musical number in The Wheel of Time Season 3, Episode 6. Myself and Raimi Park were nominated for that, alongside Kevin Bacon. So Amazon really pulled out the red carpet. They hired a car for us, so we got to like roll up in style. They had a whole team on the red carpet for us to escort me to the red carpet to take pictures and everything, some of which you could see here. I even did red carpet interviews. Then they escorted us to a table where they had like all this like amazing food and stuff, and we got a chance to watch the live performances and see the winners announced on the stage. And I was really happy to see some of my friends win. Unfortunately, we lost to Kevin Bacon. Curse you, Kevin Bacon! But it's okay. It was still a really fun time. It was especially personally exciting for me because Ludwig Göransson, who's the composer of Oppenheimer, Sinners, Black Panther, so many other films, right? Mandalorian. He was sitting at the next table next to the Batman himself, Michael Keaton. He was right there, like right close to me. So that was really cool. Very starstruck. And then people kept buying me drinks all night. So I was very fortunate to have that car to pick me up and take me home afterwards. So it was really great. And when Linda came too, so we got a chance to experience that together. That was really fun. And it was kind of the last big push for the work week before the week dies down. Still going to work on some stuff this week, try to get a couple things out the door before Wednesday hits and everyone kind of goes into their hobbit holes for the long weekend. But what do you all have on deck this week? How was your last week? Let me know. Are you all in this? Let me know if you're based in the States or overseas. Or do you all have just kind of business as usual this week? Reading anything you'd recommend? I always love chatting with you in the comments, so let me know. I'm Nikhil with Shelf-Esteem. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other. And as always, I'll see you on the next video on Thursday. Take care.